Okay. So I've gotten into crypto. I've been buying crypto. I've been dealing with crypto. Uh, I just I've just some weird things have been happening, and I want to talk about it because some of it doesn't seem right to me. And this is all alleged. Nothing is for a fact. I'm just gonna show you a few things. I'm gonna talk about some stuff that has happened with Kraken. Um, that it my thought is that this is basically comes down to because the crypto space isn't really uh, litigated. Like there's not a lot of rules for this that these things are allowed that are happening that I think are weird or I think that could possibly be alleged embezzlement if there were laws to protecting against what's going on. I don't know for a fact. I can't say for sure that this is what's actually happening, but I'm going to show you some proof on my end of what I'm talking about, and I'm going to talk about this, and then we'll go from there. And then you be the judge of what you think, and then you can leave it in the comments on YouTube of what you think is going on as well, because I'm interested to see what other people say about this, because it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. In my opinion, it's kind of crazy. I just started getting into this stuff. I have a cold wallet. I have all that. Like I've researched enough to understand all that stuff. I feel safe for all that stuff. This is the only thing that's happened so far with crypto and all this stuff that that this is kind of concerning to me, and I feel like I wanted to get this out there. And again, this is alleged, and this is opinions. This is not fact. I will show you some fact things, but I can't go any farther than that because I don't want to get sued out of nowhere for no reason over this type of thing. Because this is a big, it would be a big allegation if I was allegating it, but I'm not. Right? This is just an opinion. This is just showing information and for people to make up their own minds about this and give feedback. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's what's going on. I'm wrong. I'm just stupid. I don't understand it. But let's get into it. So, um, I moved. I moved. I was on Coinbase and I have Kraken. I went from Coinbase to Kraken because I don't like Coinbase. I like Kraken more. They just put it that way bluntly. I just that's what it is, right? So to break it down simply is that I sent Pepe from Coinbase over to Kraken. All right. What I didn't know was that there is a minimum amount of Pepe that you have to send in order to send it fully to Kraken. Okay, no big deal, not an issue. That's not my issue, right? Right. And I get, and it's not exactly my fault. I'm not trying to like pass blame on anybody, but Coinbase isn't going to tell me what Kraken's minimum and maximum amounts are. I would never would have imagined that it would have said, "Oh, you have to have a minimum of this to send it to Kraken," right? Because normally what it'll tell you, like, "Hey, it's this much fees in Ethereum or gas fees or whatever it is." It tells you that when you're sending it from one platform to another, right? It's all explained to you in that way, right? Those normal fees are always explained to you. However, Kraken for some fucking reason has its own minimum deposit amounts on certain things, right? Like Pepe is one of them, right? They say you have to send at least 2 million, otherwise, no. It's like, okay, I didn't know this. All right, I did not know this. So what I did was I went over to Coinbase. I sent the Pepe, which was like 160,000 Pepe, right? Which is like nothing. It's like nothing, right? Not I just that's I don't care about any of that, right? So I sent it over, and it ended up coming out to like 121,000 after fees, right? So the Ethereum fees, because Pepe's on Ethereum. So it sent over 121,000 to Kraken. Blockchain, uh, the blockchain Ethereum IO, it showed everything was successful, sent to Kraken, 100% sent to the account that I have on Kraken for my Pepe. All right. So here's where the issue comes in. The issue comes in is that the minimum amount wasn't met, right? Cool, fine. I don't give a shit if the minimum amount wasn't met. That's not the issue. The issue here is that Kraken is trying to say, well, the minimum account wasn't met, so you're just not going to get accredited it. Okay, but why? Right. Well, because you didn't send the minimum amount. Okay, fine. So why didn't you reject the? Why wouldn't you have rejected the transaction and sent it back to Coinbase. Said, hey, look, we're rejecting this transaction. We can't take this. This isn't the minimum amount. No, instead, what they've done is that they have accepted the transaction and then refused to accredit that amount to your account. Now, what they say is that we don't allow this because they don't want to get basically DDoSed with a whole bunch of miniature amounts sent to them because it'll crash their website. I get that. I think anybody would get that. Anybody would be like, hey, I get that. No problems. Here is the issue, and here is why the title of my video is the way it is. It's because they are now holding on to that money or that crypto and just keeping it. They are not going to credit to my account. They refuse to credit to my account, and they keep saying that they failed it, even though they didn't. They didn't fail anything. They took it, and they just were refusing to accredit it to my account. And they'll do the same thing to everybody, right? This is one of those, I'm glad I learned it this way situations, because it was only like $2 worth of Pepe. But that's the thing, right? Is what if they did have some crazy or high amount? And you know what I mean? This is insane to me that they just couldn't just reject the transaction in the first place, which is what they should have done, right? They should have just rejected it, sent the money or the Pepe back to Coinbase and said, hey, we can't accept this. This is too small of an amount. But instead, what they did was they accepted the transaction. The blockchain said, yep, we're ledgering this. This is all under, we have records of this. This is all under that account. This is now attached to that Kraken account, for the Pepe. It's good, right? So I messaged Kraken about this. I said, hey man, are you guys gonna send it back or credit me this shit? Because I thought, well, maybe if I buy enough Pepe to have over 2 million in my account, it'll accredit it. Nope, doesn't work that way. Okay, so what if I went to Coinbase, got $2 million or 2 million Pepe and sent that over, right? Would you then accredit that to my account? Nope. They said no both ways. What they basically said is, it's ours now. Shut the fuck up. Don't worry about it. This isn't an alleged purchase. This is fact. All right. This is all fucking fact. What I'm saying right now is all fact, right? The other part's alleged, right? So here is the start of the conversation I had with Kraken about this whole fucking thing, right? He said, hey, we escalated this. It was on the ERC20 Pepe because the ERC20 is the Ethereum, right? We're currently receiving high, blah, blah, blah. Smoother chatting, blah, blah, blah. Hello, thanks for contacting. Your Pepe deposit failed due to falling below the minimum amount for deposits to Kraken. The minimum deposit amount is 2 million Pepe. This is what I said earlier. It's got to be 2 million. Or your deposit was for 127,087. This was after the fees were taken out. So originally it was 161,000 set from Coinbase over, but the fees were taken out, and this was what was left over, right? If the cryptocurrency deposit is below the minimum required, it will be failed, and the funds will not be credited to your account. Okay, so they just admitted, hey, you sent that over. We failed it. We didn't reject it. We just said, nah, we're not going to allow you to put that accredit to your account. And now there won't be a credited account. This initial deposit will not be credited even if you send a subsequent deposit, which meets the minimum amount requirement. So right there, because I thought that might, well, if I send the thing across, then it'll pick it up, right? It'll grab it on its way over to my account. Nope. They literally just said right here, the initial deposit will not be credited even if you send a subsequent deposit. That means another deposit, which meets the minimum amount required as the funds are non-stackable. Like, what? So even if I sent 2 million over now, after fees and everything, it wouldn't pick up that 127,000 Pepe. Nope, it's just 100. You can learn about deposits here. Don't give a shit. This means even if you purchase Pepe on Kraken, the funds will not be credited as it falls below the minimum amount. Okay, so and that's me replying. Okay, so you're saying that you're just going to keep it then and can't send it back to my Coinbase account because it didn't fail. It didn't. The Ethereum blockchain shows and proves that it was successfully recorded and attached to that Pepe account address on my Kraken account. Okay. To explain a little, exchanges such as ours have a minimum, but yeah, we understand all this. And here it goes. It facilitates prevention of malicious dust deposit attacks by not processing under minimum amounts and thus preventing spam transactions from bogging down our system. And for some crypto, this is an essential part of how the crypto operates. Okay. They just admitted, hey, we do this because of this, because we don't want to get DDoSed by small transactions. Okay, again, and I said this before, I don't care. That's fine. No one's going to argue that point. We absolutely take no pleasure in the situation, but in case where the currency is not stackable below the minute it falls at our funding gateway level, it cannot be recovered. They're saying, hey, it's attached to your account, but we're just not going to credit to you. It can be recovered. They have it. It's attached to my account now. They just want to credit it to my account. It's attached to that address. That's a crack. You know how they say, not your keys, not your crypto. This is what they're doing. This is a fact. What they're doing right now, that crypto key that that crypto key that my or that crypto address that my Pepe is attached to, it's not mine, it's Kraken's. I'm using their platform. They're allowing me to use their platform on their addresses with their keys to do my transactions, right? Which is why I have a cold wallet and I pulled all my shit off of exchanges, thank God. I said, cool, copy and paste answers. I asked if you were keeping the Pepe I sent that was successful. We are not able to process it or recover it as it falls outside of our automated funding systems, unfortunately. What the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't fall outside of anything. It was successfully attached to the address on my Kraken account. It was successfully attached to Kraken. That means you are absolutely able to process it. You are refusing to accredit that to my account because you're saying it was below the 2 million Pepe requirement. So it's just sitting there, just refusing to be accredited to my account. It's attached to my Pepe Kraken account, though. 100% is. So what? It just sits there until I close the account and you guys just pull it into Kraken because there's nothing else for it to do. Are they going to sit there and say, oh no, we wouldn't touch it. It would just sit there forever and nobody would ever own it. No, it's attached to the address on that Kraken account. So Kraken technically owns that Pepe now. Our system is set up to fail deposits below. Yeah, I don't care. It didn't fail though. This is what I keep saying because they keep trying to say fail and it's not a fail. They didn't fail. They didn't reject it. They accepted it. They're refusing, and what they should be saying is we're just refusing. We are refusing to accredit your account. We are failing to credit your account. We're refusing to credit your account. We are rejecting to accredit your account. They have the Pepe. They have the crypto. They have it. I don't have it. Coinbase doesn't have it. They have it. It is on the ledger that they have it on that Kraken address. It didn't fail though. The blockchain successfully attached that Pepe to my Kraken Pepe account. It didn't go back to my Coinbase. You can't just say it's sitting in thin air when it's not. There's nothing further we could do. So he basically, I have him here. I've like proven my point here. It's not failing. It's not rejected. It's 100% on the ledger. There's nothing further we can do regarding this matter. Future deposit, blah, blah, blah. Right. So I said, so it's basically theft since I didn't know the minimum since I was sending it from Coinbase. And obviously Coinbase doesn't tell us what Kraken's mins or maxes are. Instead of lying and saying it failed, which it didn't, why don't you guys actually make the system reject the transfer then and not accept it and then hold it and not credit it to the account? Seems illegal, allegedly illegal, opinion that it's illegal, opinion alleged, right? Because how else can you look at this? There's no other way to look at this. They have the Pepe. They have the crypto. Nobody else has it. It's not just in thin air. Nobody. It doesn't go to nobody. This is all tracked 100% across ledgers and the Ethereum blockchain and all that stuff, right? So it's right now. It's all saying, hey, yeah, you have it. It's yours. It's yours. It's you, right? So I shut this down, and later he sent me this. He was like, as mentioned, it failed on our end. He keeps lying and saying it failed. It did not fail. They successfully were given that deposit of Pepe attached to that Kraken address, to that Pepe. Because when you have, for people who don't know, when you have when you are on an exchange like Kraken, you will set up, you'll like say you buy Kraken or say you buy Pepe, right? Your account will automatically have a Pepe address, right? That address is your account number basically for that specific crypto, right? Whether it's on Ethereum or Bitcoin chain or whatever, right? So that address is always there. You can make a new address, you can change the address, whatever, right? But it would always be attached to your account whenever you do that, right? So So what he's trying to say is, well, the transaction failed. Well, when you say failed, legally say failed, that means you never received it either. That means legally the transaction failed and that it stayed at Coinbase and Coinbase never sent it, right? That's what failed means. Legally, a legal term of failed of this would be that. And this is not what happened. What happened was Coinbase sent the Pepe over to that to my Pepe address on Kraken, and it was successful. The Ethereum blockchain said, "Yep, successful. It is now attached to that address now." Who owns the address? Not me. Kraken does, right? Now I have a account on Kraken, correct? Right, but they are refusing to credit that Pepe to my address on my account, right? They're refusing to show like, hey, and they'll let me manage it and let me do what I want with it, right? That is what's happening right now. So, we're sorry not to, but if you have any further questions, blah blah blah. Okay. So let me show you another thing that's really fucking weird. All right. I don't want to show. Where did I put it? I mean, I could show, but I just don't want to show my whole. I don't have anything crazy on here. I'm a private person. I just don't like showing everything. Okay, so this is an excerpt from my assets on my Kraken account. All right, XRP and XLM. All right, I pulled all of my XRP and I pulled all my XLM off of the Kraken account and I put it into my cold wallet. What in the fuck is this? Why in the fuck is there still 0.0000009 XRP left in my Kraken account? And why the fuck is there still 0.0000073 XLM on my Kraken account? On Coinbase and on Robinhood, every time I've hit max amount to withdraw or move, it takes the fees out and it takes whatever else it needs, and then it takes everything else and moves it. There's nothing left behind. Why is it on Kraken that all of this is left behind? Right? There should be nothing left behind. When I did the transfer, I said maximum amount. So that means this 0.00009 XRP that they left in my account should never have been left in the account. It should have gone with the rest of the XRP, right? Because it was let's be logical for 2 seconds, right? Let's be logical for 2 seconds. If I have $10, right, and I want to transfer my $10 to say my kid, and there's a $1 fee, right? You would take the $10, take the dollar out, and give my son $9, right? You wouldn't take the $10, take the $1 fee, then take out 0.009 of a penny, and then give my son the rest of the money. You wouldn't do that, right? That's not how this works. It's not how it's supposed to work. So why is Kraken doing this? Why is Kraken leaving 0.00009 XRP in my account when I said I wanted the full amount removed and put into my cold wallet, right? You see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Because even if you want to say, oh, there's fees and blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. But I pulled out a lot of XRP. It wasn't like a few dollars worth, right? So that means all the fees and stuff that should have been taken out. It should have been taken out of that bundle, and then the rest should have been sent to my cold wallet, and then that's it. There should be nothing left on here. Why the fuck? And the same thing for the XLM. Why the fuck is there still stuff on there after I did a maximum withdrawal? Why are they this? And again, this is alleged, in my opinion, it looks like embezzlement, because this is what embezzlers do with banks, right? They take for every transaction they take a penny or 10 pennies or whatever, right? And there's a million transactions a day, and if you do that for a billion transactions, you actually start making some money out of it, don't you? Right? This will add up. If a company has a million transactions a day going through, and they're doing this, and they're leaving behind this, because right now I can't do anything with those because there's not enough of it, right? I can't sell it, I can't transfer it, I can't convert it, I can't do anything with those at all. With these, I can't, because this is the amount. This is probably the price paid, and this is how much it's worth right now, I think is what it is. But you see what I'm saying? Like, this makes no sense to me. If I, like I said, I'm pretty new to crypto. So if I'm putting this on YouTube. So if you watch this and you know something I don't know about this and why this is, to me this is weird, please, for the love of God, in the comments, put why this is happening. Because again, I'm gonna stress this before you do that. I did not move like a very, because you know how there's minimums, right? So there's fees and there's minimums, right? I didn't move just above the minimum over. No, I moved large amounts of this stuff over, way more than enough to cover fees and anything else. So why the fuck is there any being left behind? I don't understand this. I don't understand why any of this is being left behind. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Again, this looks like a legend, and in my opinion, it looks like some sort of embezzlement thing. But again, I can only assume that there's not a whole bunch of litigation or laws pertaining to this stuff, right? Because this is all crypto. Crypto is in its own world, basically. So, um, so yeah, if someone could explain this to me, I would be thrilled to be able to turn around, make another video, and say, hey, no more alleged anything. We got the answer. This is the answer. Don't have to worry about it anymore. I get it now. But right now, this shouldn't be happening. I like I said, I withdrew on Coinbase and I withdrew on Robinhood, and nothing was left behind. Not a single 0.0000 whatsoever was left behind. Right. So why is it on Kraken it's being left behind? I think this is a huge question that needs to be answered right now. On top of, there needs to be some kind of litigation put into place, some kind of law put into place that they cannot say, hey, here's our minimum, accept it, and then just keep it. No, they should have to reject that transfer and say, hey, this isn't enough, take it back, send it back, and then go from there, right? Because that to me is also an alleged, or in my opinion, some sort of type of embezzlement. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Um, so I would love to understand this more. I would love to hear answers on this. Uh, so I think that's basically it at this point. I Other than that, I have no complaints. I have no issues. I've I've had fun doing this stuff. I've had fun getting my cold wallet and doing that stuff, and I've had fun investing in the cryptocurrency world. I've diversified pretty well. I feel like things are going to get better from here. And it's crazy because I just bought right before the crypto crash. Not a whole lot, but I'd bought some right before the crypto crash, or the stock market crash when President Trump said he was putting tariffs on China. So I bought a little bit before that, and then I bought dips and the low amounts afterwards. So I actually got to be a part of that too. So that was kind of cool. Uh, so and now I got a couple nerd miners coming. I got 4 of them coming to try and mine, mine a block of Bitcoin on my own just for fun. You know, so again, please feel free to fucking share this with people, get this out. I really want to see what people are saying about this. I want to get people's opinions on this down in the comments on YouTube. I appreciate any feedback, and I appreciate anybody watching this at all if it even gets out there. Thank you. Have a good day.